So I just saw Avengers Infinity War, and it was oh so good. So before I get into the video, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about something. So leading up to the release date of Avengers Infinity War, Marvel released a shitload of trailers and TV spots and everything, and it just got me thinking, how many of these can you release without spoiling the whole movie? Because they would come out with like a new TV spot almost every other day, and I was like, oh my god, how much more of the movie is left if you keep releasing new clips? If you're just going to continue to release all these new clips and everything, why not just release the whole movie online? But it got me thinking, because I am actually somebody that likes spoilers before a movie. I like to read all the spoilers before a movie and find any leaked clips if I can. And there's a big debate going on where some people say that it ruins the movie for them if somebody spoils it for them, like in the comments of a YouTube video or something. And then there's other people like me that don't feel that way at all. See, to me, reading spoilers and looking up clips and stuff before a movie, it doesn't ruin the experience for me. It just makes me more excited to go see the movie, because then I actually get to see what I read finally take place on screen. So I just want to pass the question off to you guys. Does reading spoilers or hearing about spoilers ruin the movie for you before you see it? Let me know down in the comments below. Because there was this one guy, Curtis Silver, who's a contributor for Forbes. He released like a whole article, basically not even reviewing the movie or anything, just spoiling everything in the movie, and a lot of people got pissed off about it, and I could see why. I mean, it's pretty scummy. At first when I heard about it, I didn't think that Disney was going to be able to do anything. I thought they would just, like, you know, blacklist him from seeing any of their movies in an advanced screening again. But then just yesterday, I think it was, I heard that he actually posted all of those spoilers and his review 5 hours before the review embargo even lifted, which I think Disney could sue for that. I don't know, but okay, now that that's out of the way, let's get right into the video. 8 reasons why Avengers Infinity War is unlike other MCU movies. So yeah, according to many sources, this is the longest Marvel movie they have made yet. That's it. Okay, so if there is anything that separates this movie apart from all the other MCU movies, it's the sheer scale of it. Because it's not just like a Captain America movie where you're dealing with all the Avengers stuff on Earth, and it's not just a Guardians movie where you're dealing with only stuff in space. It's all of that crammed together into one movie. This movie is constantly hopping around from place to place, and that is one of my criticisms with this movie. It can get a little jarring at times, and the pacing can kind of be weird, because they'll be in like an action scene, and instead of finishing that action scene and then going to a slower, more character development scene, they'll stop the action scene like halfway through and then go to the slow part and then cut that halfway through and then go back to the other half of the action and then finish that off and go back to the other half of the slow part. So the pacing was a little weird. I mean, I kind of see what they were going for, but it just didn't really flow as well as I think they were hoping it would. But yeah, anyways, like I was saying, the scale of this movie. You will be on Earth with Captain America and some of the other Avengers for a little while, and then right away you'll hop to like another planet with Thanos and Gamora. Then right after that you'll hop to another planet with the Guardians and Iron Man and Spider-Man. It's just so all over the place, but it was awesome at the same time. Because there are just so many worlds that we got to see in this movie, so many different planets, and it was just awesome to see, because a lot of the worlds just looked so beautiful and otherworldly. They were just amazing. So usually the MCU movies are criticized because they have been known to be kind of formulaic. Everybody says that they have a strict 3-act structure, and it's very true, they do. With this movie, though, the Russo brothers, they completely abandon all of that. The whole movie is basically a big 3rd act. Yes, like I said, there are some scenes in there where there's slow parts with character development and stuff like that, but most of the time it's like non-stop action. So if you're not into that kind of movie, you might not want to go see this, but I will say this is definitely a thrill ride that you do not want to miss. Okay, so this is a big one, why this is different and unlike any other Marvel movie, MCU movie that has come out so far. There are actual stakes in this movie. You know, going back to what I was saying about Marvel movies being kind of formulaic, the heroes always seem to win at the end, even if something is going totally wrong and something very big and bad is happening, they always seem to win and come out on top by the end of the movie. But in this movie, hell no. Half of the major characters, they die. Did you like Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy? Well, gone. She's definitely never coming back. Did you like Vision at all? Gone. He's never coming back. Did you happen to possibly like Heimdall from any of the Thor movies? Well, if so, sorry, he's gone. And everybody's favorite villain, the original that won everybody's hearts, Loki. He's dead. Sorry. Now, yes, that was only 4 characters, and some of them weren't Avengers. But by the end of the movie, Thanos snaps his fingers, and half of the whole population dies on Earth. They turn to dust, and they just go away. Now, does this mean that they're gone forever? I don't think so, because most of the characters that turned into ash and went away, they have upcoming movies, so I think they're going to be coming back in the next Infinity War. But as for the ones that died before Thanos snapped his fingers with all the Infinity Stones in the gauntlet, I think it's pretty safe to say that they're gone for good. Speaking of Thanos, we actually finally have a very big, bad, dangerous villain in an MCU movie. Now, in the past, yes, we've gotten a couple pretty good villains, you know, Loki and the recent Killmonger, he was pretty good. But most of the time, the villains are pretty weak, and they're just very one-note and forgettable. Thanos, I don't think he's going to be very forgettable. His Black Order sidekicks, the children of Thanos that he's with, those 4, yeah, they'll be pretty forgettable. But as for Thanos himself, I don't think so. So another thing that I noticed they did differently in this movie than in most of the past movies is they really played up the romantic relationship between Scarlet Witch and Vision, and one that I was actually surprised of, Star-Lord and Gamora. Because in the first Guardians of the Galaxy and the second one, I don't think Star-Lord and Gamora ever kissed. You know, they got pretty close, but I don't think they ever kissed. And if you're a big Guardians of the Galaxy fan like I am, seeing them finally kiss in this movie, I was like, oh my god, finally! And let me just go on a little side tangent really quick. This movie definitely solidified why Guardians are my favorite in the MCU. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is my #1 MCU movie, even with all the newer MCU movies that have come out, like Black Panther and Thor Ragnarok. They still don't hold a candle to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 for me. Thor Ragnarok comes in at a very close second, but it's still not there for me like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is. But anyways, every time they were on screen, I just noticed the movie had so much more levity and humor in it, to the point where even when the Guardians were interacting, with the new comedic Thor from Thor Ragnarok, even Thor couldn't compete with them and their banter and their humor. And while we're on the topics of the Guardians, Nebula, she got pretty shortchanged in this movie, I thought. She was only in maybe like 3 scenes max, and with her being like the #1 person who hates Thanos and wants to kill Thanos, I don't know why they didn't give her more screen time. I would think that she would be like the #1 person that they would want to focus on in a battle between Thanos. But anyways, back to the romance between Scarlet Witch and Vision, because I already talked about Gamora and Star-Lord, and it was just so cute. I'm sorry. But so I'm glad they really played up the relationship, the romantic relationship between Scarlet Witch and Vision, because that's a pretty big thing in the comics, and it was just nice to finally see it come to fruition on screen. So in the past, yes, we've seen some characters, like many characters that we've always wanted to see interact with each other in a movie, but once again, going back to the scale, it was never on a scale like it is in this movie. Every single character that you can think of that has been in the past MCU movies finally come together and meet each other. Well, most of them meet each other. after 10 years of build-up. And I think the interactions between some of these characters that you would never think would have interacted with each other like 10 years ago is worth the price of admission for this movie alone. And the final reason why this movie is unlike any other MCU movie is because I think this is more of an event than it is a movie. And I think that might be by design by the Russo brothers. And I think it might be by design by Marvel as well. There are just so many characters in this movie that there is just no time to flesh all of them out and give them character development. And I think the Russo brothers and Marvel knew that they couldn't do that. So instead they just made this a big popcorn action movie, which is like going through a ride basically at Universal Studios. And instead of a ton of character development and just boring, slow scenes between characters, they gave us what we wanted, which was just an action-packed thrill ride, and I'm okay with that. But anyways, this has been a movie that has been basically 10 years in the making, and it's just so nice to finally see all these characters come together and interact with each other like we always wanted. So in my opinion, was it worth the wait? I think it was. The Russo brothers did a great job, and I'm excited to see what's coming up next in Avengers 4 in 2019. Not to mention, they also gave me a free poster last night when I went to go see the movie, so bonus points. Oh, look at that. It matches my shirt. Alright guys, that's it. That's all I got for this week. Like, comment, and subscribe. Click that notification bell, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.